Welcome back to another ZaraCraft episode. We're here on the modded expansion world, and you probably noticed a few things. The first one is most likely all of these numbers and this bar at the top. That's the new mod, Project MMO. It adds stats into the game, which leads me to the next thing. I am using iron tools when I have access to diamond. Now that's because of those stats. In order to use a diamond sword, I have to have a combat level of 40. Currently, mine is only 34, so I can only use the iron sword. The pickaxe has to do with mining. The hoe has to do with farming. The shovel is excavation. And blocks like the linear chassis and my shafts require a building of 10. Now, that's a bit of a problem when something in this room breaks and I don't have a building level of 10. It's a slight problem. So I had to spend some time getting all of my stats upgraded so I could get back to where I was. I couldn't even wear my iron armor, actually. Now, down here, most things are the same. We do have our crushing section, where over here we throw the ores in. That's still here. And then we also have the lava smelting right here. We have our basic washing over here. All of that's pretty much the same. But I have added quite a bit, so I am low on stress. Or I have very little stress left, I should say. So taking my elevator up, I have a small platform up here. I do plan on doing something with more machines up here, but I had to take a break to deal with all of the stat information and stuff. Oh, there goes my clock. I'm gonna go sleep real quick. That's actually something right there, that save 2 fall damage. That is part of my endurance. It does, the higher the endurance, the higher the chance I have of saving some fall damage, along with gaining extra hearts. So this little setup up here is actually to make chocolate. Now, I don't have any at the moment. I happened to eat it all while I was upgrading my endurance. But what I do is I throw cocoa, sugar, and milk in here. I then use this piston that can push 2 over to here, where the mechanical press will squish it into a chocolate bar. The next step is going to be to automate all of this, which, sneak peek down there, I've actually started on. So, my first step is I'm obviously going to need the sugarcane. And I have a sugarcane farm over there, but it's not that great right now. So, if I jump down here, I can come over here to my farm as an example. This thing is a fully automatic farm. Now, it is a little bit buggy, just because of how the machines work and all that stuff. But it will harvest the grown wheat, and as you can see, it doesn't get all of it. It then stores it in the chest, and outputs it onto this conveyor belt. Now, I think something might be up with this, so I may have to do some testing and fix that, because it doesn't seem to be dropping the items when it should. But the only way for me to test that is to get... Actually, I could test that right now. I will have to take those out. That stops this entire conveyor belt setup. But we're doing some testing real quick. I put the chute right there. Alright, so it's not putting anything in it. And I don't know if that's a good thing or not. I guess we should just wait and see. Try and get it to harvest something. Okay, it definitely harvested something. Although I'm not sure why it didn't stop. I may have to do some bug testing to figure that out. But I think we might have enough already. Let me go inside and show you. Not only, I also have these little farms still. But right in here, I have just a bit of bread. So I'm doing pretty good so far on the food. But as I said, the next step is probably going to be to try and automate sugarcane. We have our cocoa right there, and that will probably end up automating as well. I don't actually know entirely how I would do that. I would have to mess around a little bit with the some of the machines to see which ones have the capability of harvesting this. Although I do know of one machine. I totally forgot the name of it. But I know it exists. What it does is it breaks the any block that's not a full block. So things like these cocoa beans would get broken. The sugarcane, on the other hand, is pretty simple. All I would need to do is do a similar machine to over there. And I could just output it. Oh, I actually need to show you guys probably the best part of this here contraption. As the items, the wheat and seeds will ride on up. They ride on over. It's all pretty slow because I had to slow down the speed of the farm. And then they land on this block. Boing! That is a weighted ejector. And it launches you. It launches directly onto this chute. Which, if I go back inside, you'll see is right above the mill, which is exactly where we want it. So I believe the next thing I'm going to want to do to finish this off is going to be to come in here, place a chute there so it'll go in there, and I believe this is where the smart chute would come in handy. No, I would need to place this the other way around. So the chest would be placed right there. All wheat and seeds would go in there. The smart chute would go right there. And I don't have an axe on me. Wonderful. I would then take that filter on the smart chute and apply wheat to it. So only the wheat gets pulled down into it. I can then... I don't have any wheat in there. I will then use a funnel. Okay, it got pulled down. And there we go. So we know that's working. We're then gonna block on up. I don't need those seeds. And right there, I think that would work just fine. Because the wheat will automatically get pulled pulled down by the chute, and then the funnel will pull out anything else, which should only be the seeds. Because I don't know how exactly the seeds would react to try going into the millstone, but I don't think it would work very well. So, let's go grab some more wheat and some seeds, and we will test that out. So we throw the wheat in there and the seeds. Oh, I did forget about that feature. The funnel only outputs if it has something to output to. Oh, I got stuck on my turntable. Whee! So I'm gonna have to find some way to put something beneath that. The problem would be that belt right there is kind of in the way, and that can't really be moved because it's taking the ores from the crusher and sending them over to get washed. So I'm not sure what I want to do with that. At least the wheat is getting funneled out, so we will go make that sugarcane farm. The first thing we're gonna need is going to be this mechanical bearing right here. Make my turntable, and there we go. Something else that I think we're going to need is going to be this mechanical harvester right here. That's what I put on the ends of the other spinny contraption that's harvesting the wheat. And I do know it takes 2 iron plates for every piece, so let's just make 4 of them for the moment, because I think I may be low on iron, actually. I had to use a lot of it to upgrade my crafting so I could wear my goggles again, because they require a crafting level of 25. Oh, I could only make the 1 because I didn't have the casing ready. There we go. And I do have my super glue here. For now, I think let's actually build it up on top. We can build it right up here. That way we'll make use of this second floor section, and we won't have to make it travel too far. So I have that to start with. If I use these linear chassis, that's actually not how I want to place it, because these only attach to each other when they're facing the same way. So even though that doesn't make sense at first, that is how they work. And I may actually not even do that. I may put it straight up and just have the sugarcane being grown here, 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 and here. Because I believe I could do that. And if that's the case, just put 5 up. Now here's the question, is that going to work? I guess we're just going to have to do a test and find out. It does look like I'm out of cogwheels though. Let me make a way up to here, just because I'm now going to be using up there, so getting up and down by jumping is not the most effective. Alright. Looks like we're gonna have to get some more andesite alloys before too much longer as well. I did actually notice a minor detail, but we can actually throw the andesite and iron nuggets in there, and it becomes a 1-for-1 rather than a 2 andesite and 2 iron nuggets for 1 alloy. So it's a little bit cheaper. I'm going to make a gearbox. I'm going to make a second gearbox. Gotta get the wood. That way, if I need to change the orientation of any of the gears, I'll be able to do that relatively easily. I have gotten a bit better at that. So we're actually going to have to use the gearbox right away because those aren't positioned in the right manner. If I do it like that, it should be attached. And I think like that just because I need to turn it. I've got to be careful here because I do want to leave room for the sugarcane to get placed. Whoops. So I'm going to make this cogwheel pathway midday. And once I get this pathway built, I'll get some quick sugarcane placed. I'll probably manually place it just because I don't really want to wait for it to grow and have to worry about all that stuff. Ooh. Looks like we barely have enough gears. Alright. So that looks really strange. And it does shove me, which is actually an interesting detail. But, because I believe... Yeah, I can place blocks within it because it's technically not a solid block, but it does still shove me. So, if I were to place the dirt here, and then I set up the water to be placed right there. Gotta make sure I don't let it flow out the bottom. I now need to go grab some water and some sugarcane. I'll just harvest it all. There we go. I get quite a bit from it. So let's go test and see if this little quick... I made it very quickly, so I'm not entirely expecting it to work. But it might work, and if it does, that will be nice because I'll already have a design to automate that sugarcane. Yep. Whoa. Did it just eat my water? I think it just ate my water. How rude of it. Okay. I'll bring a second bucket this time. Hopefully it doesn't eat my water again. That was kind of strange, actually. Attempt number 2. Okay, that worked. It works. And it does seem to harvest. I was just a derp and put everything too high up. Although, the problem is, that's the roof. For now... Oops. I'll do that. And hopefully... I'll probably have to just mess around with that a little bit. Change the design so it works. Because we are just testing right now. But I believe this new positioning should work. Yeah, because then it'll grow and immediately get chopped up by the blades. So I now have to make tiers. So I believe, yeah, blocks I can place down just fine. So if I were to skip a layer here, so I have my first layer, I then skip a layer, that's the layer that would grow. So I'd actually place it right there. And I think like that. No, because I would have to go one up to place the sugarcane. So it would be right there. Okay. So I can now do pretty much the exact same thing, just one layer up. And I would put a dirt block there, but there's kind of a gearbox in my way. And I will lower that. I'll lower those two. And go grab some more water. And I don't know how far up I'll make this. I might go 10 just to start and see how much that generates me. The other thing I might do, and am likely to do, is make multiple of these towers, because otherwise they would just get quite tall. So I did finish this starter layer. I have a chest up there that is collecting the sugarcane, but as you can see, I did not get very far on it. And I also messed up and didn't place one right there like I was supposed to. So I'll have to eventually go fix that. Not something I'm dealing with at the moment, though. And I spent a whole lot of time working on things. Not this. Instead, I have this whole setup up here. I have 3 fully functional windmills now. And I did finally figure out what was up with the farm. When you come and place down the andesite funnel, I was shift clicking. And so that was placing it going in, putting items into that inventory. It should stop. I don't know if it will. There may be very little, so it's not going to need to. Or it may just not be harvesting right now. You can see I have quite a few patches in there. That is due to mobs. They will get caught up and pushed along. And when they drop off of it, they break the crops. So I'm gonna have to put up a fence around that eventually. But for now, I just make it work. It looks very ugly right now. But I fixed that problem. It comes up, and I have this brass tunnel, which will spit all the seeds out and take them to a different area over there, while the wheat stays on the main path right here. You can see I really increased the speed, but that was because the launch pad couldn't keep up with it. Otherwise, I would get too much wheat coming in, and there's a decent chance that was just because it had just unloaded from being stuck and it was overflowing with a bunch of wheat. But either way, it bounces you over to this depot. The chute then takes it down to the millstone. And then the seeds come over along this one. Same thing. They actually get bounced up into this chest right up here, where I then just quickly drop them into, let's see if I can find it. Yeah, it's right in there. That is, I honestly can't remember the name of it, but it takes the seeds and right-clicks on the composter for me. Now, it's not the most efficient. You can see I have all these sheets just scattered around. That's to catch the bone meal when it pops out. Unfortunately, there is a chance that the bone meal will land on the composter itself, and I really don't have a way to fix that, at least at the moment. If you guys know how, go ahead and let me know. But it then drops down into there, and just gets shot into these random panes of glass, falling in here. This is why I'm not worried. I have plenty of bone meal already. I did also set up a smart chute right there to take the seeds out of this system where it gets washed. They just get hooked up to that up there as well. Now that is the end of this episode. I do have another mod that I'm going to add in. I did add it in right at the very end of this recording, so I have already gathered some of the materials for it. And I think it's going to be an interesting one to show off. I hope you guys find it enjoyable. If you enjoyed, leave a like, and comment which mod you think I should add next.